guys, today I'm going to do Demi Lovato, and as I was writing down the houses, I started to realize that Demi Lovato's birthday chart is pretty dark, okay? But before I get into that, I'm going to explain every placement so that you can see the bright side of her chart first. Okay. Demi Lovato was born as a Leo rising, and she's got the sun here in the first house in 27 degrees Leo as well. So she loves to be the center of attention. She loves to show her creative side, and she likes people to acknowledge her. Okay. And now she also has Venus in the first house, 16 degrees in Virgo, and she also has 19 degrees of Jupiter in Virgo in the first house. And Virgo makes majority of her first house, even though Leo is, on her rising sign. Now, having Venus in the first house could make the person very, very attractive. Okay, or very likable. And having Jupiter in the first house could mean that they could expand the personality, can make them very nice. They could also make them very likable, because Venus and Jupiter are very likable planets. They're very positive planets, and the Sun also. Now, Demi Lovato has Mercury in the 12th house in Leo. Okay, she's got it here 9 degrees. And having Mercury in the 12th house could mean that you could be a very quiet, low-key person in your speech. You don't really speak much, but when it comes to expressing yourself, it could mean that you express yourself in the arts, since the 12th house has to do with Pisces, has to do with expressing yourself, art, painting, drawing, and Leo is more theatrical. So on her, the way she expresses herself could be in that way, and also her writing of music. All right, very theatrical, very emotional, very deep, as is in the 12th house. Now, she's got Pluto 20 degrees in Scorpio, okay, between the 3rd and the 4th. And I would say, yeah, more like the 4th, which is actually squaring her ascendant, okay. And that's what makes it dark, because Pluto is a very strong planet, and it's very intense, and it's in the 4th house of family, and in Scorpio. And it's squaring her rising sign directly, 20 degrees. So that right there tells me that there's been very strong problems or issues having to do with her family that affected her as an individual, affected her personality. So her family, her private life has really shaped her ego. Okay. Now, Demi Lovato has stellium in the 5th house of creativity. She's got the North Node where she's heading, 27 degrees in Sagittarius in the 5th house. She's got Uranus 14 degrees in Capricorn, and she's got Neptune 16 degrees in Capricorn in the 5th house of creativity, fun, children, and new projects. So having Neptune here in the 5th house could also mean that she's a really good writer, especially in Capricorn. Capricorn is a very musical sign, like I've said in many, many videos. And having here Uranus here, the genius, semi-conjunct Neptune, they're kind of like 2 degrees apart, could mean that she gets genius ideas that would make her very artistic, okay, in her writing of music in Capricorn. And this is where she's heading at, actually. This is her aim in life, her goal in life, her purpose in life, to fulfill the fifth house of creativity, okay, of expression. Now, her 6th house of work is filled with a lot of toil, okay. She's got here Saturn, which could signify struggle, something that she's got to build, a karma, and it's in 14 degrees in Aquarius. Could mean that her daily life, her work life could be pretty hectic, and that's something that she's got to work on throughout her whole life to overcome. Now, her moon is 16 degrees in the 9th house, all right, and it's in the house of religion, and it's in Taurus. Now, having the moon in Taurus could actually be a very positive placement, because Taurus is a very calm sign, so it can mean that you have a very calm mind, and that you think things through before doing something. You're not just impulsive. Now, speaking of impulsiveness, she's got Mars 16 degrees in Gemini, and it's in the 10th house of career, of reputation, and how people know you. And she could probably be a very ambitious, multi-talented artist, because Gemini is very multi-talented, and having Mars here could just, drive you there. And it's in the 10th house. Now, Demi Lovato always has a struggle. Okay, she's always going to rehab and stuff. And Mars in Gemini is like the Nine of Swords in the tarot cards, which signifies cruelty. So cruelty in the Nine of Swords symbolizes that you have low self-esteem and you're always accusing yourself, punishing yourself, and it's usually due to issues with other people, parents putting you down, bullying, and having to suffer silently at night and crying. Okay, if anybody's seen that card in the tarot card. Speaking of that, I want to start getting into the aspects now, because the moon is semi-squaring her Saturn. Okay, and anybody who has this placement, and I recently had a client that I did the other day that he had the same exact placement, but not in the same houses, but same exact, aspect between Saturn and the moon, which was square. And I have the same thing too, but I have it in my ascendant. She has it, and it could signify trouble with the mother, okay? Maybe a neglect, abuse, and if it's not with the mother, it could be a family. Very, very difficult, hard life. I mean, adoption. So it has to do here with the 6th house and her 9th house. Okay. So it obviously has to do with her work. Maybe she's forced to work. Okay. And she also has Saturn here trining her Mars, however, which is a harmonious trine, even though these two planets are actually maleficent. But it almost seems like the hard square between the moon and Saturn actually, benefits the trine between, Mars. So maybe the mother put her to work and now she's, a star, that kind of scenario, okay? Now, it may not be that way, but that's like the story that I'm getting here, that it's painting. Now, again, remember I told you there was a square between Pluto and her ascendant, which has to do with the family. So there's something heavily involved there, all right? Now, on the bright side, she's got Venus trining her Neptune, exactly, okay? So she was born with talent, okay? And she channeled that talent with music, okay? Personally, playing the piano, singing, writing, all the things that she's known for doing. Now, if you guys did notice here that there's like a little semi-T square between Pluto, her ascendant, and Saturn, which is not completely 20 degrees, but it's like 6 degrees away from 20 degrees. And her moon is also 4 degrees away from her 10th house. So there's something playing between her work, her family that's very intense, and again, her family that's involved in all of this. So she's got a very, very hard chart, and I could see why she's got all these problems with rehab and going back into that facility, and what, she's always deprogramming herself very easily, because it's just so her chart is very hard angled. Okay. Now, the perfect man for her would be someone that will help her get back together, get herself back together, as she's got here Jupiter 19 degrees. A man that will benefit her, will soothe her ego, will help her rebuild herself, her confidence back, and it's in her 1st house. Okay. Now, the man that's not good for her is Mars here in the 10th house of career. A bad boy that, could have many women, multiple women at the same time, as it is in Gemini, the sign of multitude. And it could also be a very goal-oriented man that doesn't care about anybody, and he's just selfish, okay, as it is in the 10th house of Capricorn. So for her, the best man would be the man that has to do with her, which is in the house of Aries, the 1st house, and a man that, will help her, as it is in the helping sign of Virgo. A man that will offer his service to help her improve herself, her self-esteem. Maybe a psychotherapist or something. Maybe she'll meet the man of her life as a psychotherapist, which I highly doubted that, the elite will allow that, but that's just my thoughts here. So this was the chart for Demi Lovato. If you guys enjoyed it, please hit the like button. And if you guys would like me to do your chart, please go to the description below, and all the information is there. Hope to see you guys soon. Namaste. Hey guys, check out my music channel where I write my own music, sing and play piano. Make sure to subscribe.